All right, I believe we are live. Let me check something here. Make sure we are. Yes. Hello, my rabbit. How are you doing, Coco? Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to check and see if we're live. All right, guys. Going to give it 30 seconds to load this up. Going to see if I can listen to my audio. Okay, we are good. How you guys doing? So right now, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go path down memory lane. I have no idea who's gonna show up here, but if nobody does or a whole bunch of people do, that is fine with me. Probably gonna be some good things. I'm gonna give everybody a minute or two to get in, as always. So we're just in the first 45, 50 seconds of this anyway. So, all right. I think I'm going to start playing some music. But let's go down memory lane, shall we? We're going to go over some 100s. I would have liked to do this. I would have liked to have done this on the last video. Fair use YouTube, fair use NBC, fair use Flow Track if y'all have copyright claim over that, and fair use World Athletics. Fair use everybody. Because what's happening now is this is for commentary and education, as they would say, scholar. So education as far as this that will otherwise be copyright. So we're going to go over some of this. This is the men's 100-meter final at the World Athletics Championships in Doha. So I thought we had the field. Here we go. Here's the field here. And as I said the other day, so before I get into the 100, we're going to start going through memory lane and going over this. So there's something I want to say about Johan Blake. And I think I'm going to let a little bit more people come into this stream. If you're here, shout out in the comment section below so I know that you're here. Tell me, actually, guys, where you guys are hailing from, whether you are from Kenya, Nigeria, you're in Jamaica, maybe you're Jamaican that's in the United States, or wherever you are, just let me know in the comment section and in the live stream chat. I think we're going to start trying to do that so I can shout out to everybody where they're hailing from, because this is a channel that, you know, does international sports, so everybody's coming from different locations. That way we get to, you know each other a little bit better. Obviously, I'm foundational Black American, born and raised in the United States, traveled many places, and we're going to talk about the 4x1s. But in order to get that context, we got some people coming out from, you know, thinking that this team has absolutely no chance, whether that's USA or Jamaica, or other teams that think they do have a chance. So, unfortunately, Team Jamaica did not make the qualifying standard for the 4x4. I know this is a video about the 4x1 primarily, but it's kind of open discussion. Unfortunately, Team Jamaica did not meet that time. I think it was like 2:59.46 or something, and they did not, or 2:59.90 or something. And Team Jamaica was not able to do that leading up to the qualifying. So unfortunately, Team Jamaica's men's team will not be participating in the Paris Olympics. Hey, Jordan Lee, shout out to you. You said you're from New Jersey. I was born and raised myself in Chicago. So shout out to you over there in New Jersey. Now, Johan Blake, before I go into the video, I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Now, this is what he said just after London. So, at the Diamond League. And it says here, by Essentially Sports, shout out to you all. Let me see if you can see that on your screen. Yes, you can see the screen. So it says, Johan Blake's heartbreaking revelation leaves Jamaican fans shower support ahead of his final Olympics. Quote, always cheer for you. And that's Prasan Chakra Barty. Okay? Okay. So, quote, catch me if you can. These 5 words perfectly describe Johan Blake's sweet time in athletics from 2008 to 2012. All right, in that period, he posed himself suitably alongside Usain Bolt being the second best in the world. However, standing in 2024, he could only masticate those feelings, failing to achieve the top podiums. You know, when you're on the twilight of your career, it does kind of get a little bit hairy. Not everybody is going to be still doing podiums like a Shelly Ann Fraser-Price when they're later years. I mean, think about how people have gone out. Veronica Campbell-Brown, she went out very tear-filled when she went out. You got Maurice Green, he couldn't really You know, a lot of the athletes, they kind of bow out when they can't win anymore. Johan Blake obviously had to go through injuries and setback after setback as he was coming back, so it kept him hungry for more. So there's that. So that's with Johan Blake. Let's go over here. Oh, one more comment. Um, so they said losing his last chance to appear in Paris. He said this is his last Olympics, of course. He said that experience made him say, as I said, my own country, Jamaica, doesn't give me that respect. But Johan still tries to remain happy because other people outside do, and they appreciate. Now, somebody on YouTube did say that I am Jamaican. I've always cheered for you, always. All right, and I will say, Johan Blake, he kind of got beat down, unlike other athletes that didn't perform as well. Maybe it's because he was at Usain Bolt and he came with a strong mindset and mentality. Many people were calling him arrogant and everything like that. I don't know. But one thing that I can say is this, is that with Johan Blake, no matter the reasons behind it, I mean, he was beat down. And if I can get him on here, I would actually tell him to my face, because I know how this is from a personal standpoint and seeing this with other people. It's like when people are running for a political position or something, they're beating on each other, and then when you are defeated, they're like, hey, let's all hug. That's kind of how it seems now. Because, I mean, even back in 2021, y'all know, for the people that are in the live or post-recorded, many of y'all were ripping them up. I made a video, should Johan Blake, is he washed up? That's the video I made, and my conclusion was he wasn't washed up because he was starting to now come back and improve. He had broken 10 for the first time. I forgot when I did that, or it was close to him breaking 10 for the first time in a long time, and he was on the trajectory of getting faster. He was starting to do things better, but hey, that wasn't good enough for some people. So I remember making that video either in 2021 or 2022 or something like that, and people were still ripping into him. But now, because it's like, hey, it's the twilight, we could kind of reminisce. Now, if somebody else is taking over the mantle and they're looking good, now we don't have the pressure for you to win anymore. Hey, you know what? Kashane, Oblique, they're in the limelight. Good job, pat on the head. That's kind of how it appears, and I'm pretty sure that's what he feels like now. It's like, look, like he said before. He said this in 2019, I think. He said, Jamaica love winners, and once you not win, they're not supporting you. All right, that's what he said back then. So I mean, I see that as a true thing. I can say that about Britain, but this is about Jamaica right now. But hey, it is what it is. So with that being said, let me see this here. This is Edith Folks, if I'm pronouncing your name correct, Jamaican living in San Diego, California, from the parish of Trelawney. Nice. Went to the same high school as Usain Bolt and lived 4 miles away from him. Went to William Knibb High School. Shout out to you, Evis Folks. And then G Go said Jamaica in Florida. All right, guys. Let's get this party started. Now, I'm about to be hit with heavy copyright claims. And just for everybody here, just let me know if you guys like this content. If so, become a channel member. It helps support, especially we getting hit with this copyright. This helps me get out. I think I'm going to start having some on-the-ground reporters eventually at some point. But whatever the funds are that get there, if I think it's viable enough, I will start hiring people out. But let's go here. So we're going to continue this. And again, fair use. All of you guys, fair use YouTube and fair use NBC World Athletics, all of you guys, fair use. Now, obviously, here's the field in 2019. That's Aaron Brown on the left, Johan Blake in lane 8. Then we got Zarnell Hughes, DeGrasse, Sabine Coleman, as he was the favorite right there, defending champion Justin Gatlin, and then Tortu from Italy. That field, it was like Coleman was looking good all year round, coming off a indoor world record in the 60 meters, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like, hey, you know what? Justin Gatlin still looking all right. Not where he used to be. Obviously, he's an aged-up athlete, but he's defending champion. So that's where they were back then. Andre DeGrasse always, typically doing his thing when it comes to finals, more in the 200, but he puts in the work in the 100. Zarnell Hughes is like, hey, you know what? This is my time. Everybody's thinking, what can I do right here? And there's a reason why I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go over all these championships. Remember how I said, it's like once you win once in these championships, you ain't winning on the next one ever since 2017. But I'm not, I failed to get that one on this one. I should have probably got that one, but hey, it is what it is. Unlike, there you go. And Christian Coleman kind of got out on everybody there. And unfortunately, Gatlin was not where he used to be. You could see him have struggling the entire time. Andre DeGrasse put in that work. Let's go over here to the women's. Then we got Daniels. What happened to Daniels, by the way? I haven't seen her in a while because she was the only one that was making teams for a second for Team USA. And, you know, people was criticizing Team USA for a little while. So there's Ta Lou, always there. I mean, she going to appear on everything. Hurt, rain, sleet, snow. She make finals. Ta Lou is one of those people that make finals. I say if I'm somebody and I can't, you know, if I'm not the top athlete, the next best person I want to be, the next best, if I can't be the top, I can't be a medalist consistently like that, I'm going to be the Ta Lou. I want to make finals because that's still making money. What is that, $10, $15, $20,000 you making it in those positions or whatever like that. Plus you can get some endorsements locally to your country. You're always there no matter what. The other people ain't there. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price is not always there. Elaine Thompson-Hera's not always there. Nobody's always there. You go back to each one of these finals after a while. Oh, shoot. I almost dropped something down. So you go after these finals after a while, and you see Ta Lou on each and every one of them. Skippers, and for some reason, they're not showing her in the view, but she's there. So, this was back in Doha. This was after Shelly Ann was coming back from giving birth. So there you go. That's setting up the field kind of there. Lahore's there as well. Oh, skippers. Did she false start out? Huh. I forgot what happened there. All right. So this is where she's like, man, I got something to prove. I got a chip on my shoulder. I was pregnant. I became a mother and everything like that. They think they finna say something to me. I've been trying to leave this camp with Elaine and Coach Francis. They ain't been letting me go. Like all of those things that were going on at the time. And then she comes, bop, 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 and just taking off on them and not looking back. She's near her personal best there. Near her personal best. All of that is coming out right at that moment. We're going to do a tribute to Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. Oh, really? Daniels retired? Dang. I've been out the loop on that one then. Well, hey, you know what? Hey, she did what she could do, and she put in the work, and then she said, you know what? I'm out. But yeah, Shelly Ann came up in there. We're going to do a tribute to her, just like we did Justin Gatlin, Allison Felix. We're going to do one for her. Now we're going to go to Tokyo 2020, even though it occurred in 2021. We had a false start by Zarnell Hughes. Man, that hurt him. Oh, forgot to mute that. Then we got Subitang right there. And we got the eventual winner, Marcel Jacobs. Everybody was like clowning him for certain ways. They're saying, oh, maybe he's using something. He disappeared. No, he actually appeared afterward. Like after the Olympics, he kind of like disappeared. But then he appeared all the other times. Like he was like, look, I'm playing for the Olympics and that's it. It's not like that dude from Algeria in the 1500s. The dude just like was avoided everything. No, Marcel Jacobs, if you look at his World Athletics profile, if you look on all of the results, he was appearing. He did World Indoors. He won the next year. Right after that, then he like got hurt, and then he still, after the championships, went into Diamond Leagues. He was still competing. So with people saying he's disappearing, I guess it was just after this, but I don't know. He ain't got nothing to prove. He's Olympic champ. That's the way I look at it. Hey, that's Marcel Jacobs. There we go. Like I said, we about to get hit with a whole bunch of stuff. Now, oh yeah, wait a minute. Here's the field right here. I want to say that this is one of my favorite 100-meter finals on the women's side. That's what I would say with that. It may not be overall the quickest, but this lead up to this, and then that Prefontaine, that was actually good. But the women's 100-meter finals here, because Daniels was there again. She was making teams. I guess her low-key retirement was there. Nita, she was like, look, I'm going to prove something that Dina Asher-Smith can't do. Talu's there all the freaking time. You finna see her a lot. Sharika Jackson, DuPont, Kambunji, like, look, I'm like 34 this year, but I can still do it. That's what she's saying to herself this year.
It's the women's.
All right. Uh-oh, they're going to hit me with the copyright just because of that. Let me put this up forward. Y'all know Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, if she goes out and she tries, with the exception of one time, which was 2011, because she was like banned for a couple of months because they were like, hey, you know what, you forgot to report this thing because of your braces and everything. And then they overruled it. The season was like hectic. With the exception that she got fourth there, if I'm not mistaken. Every other time she didn't try to go out, she done made a medal, if not win. All right, come on, let's get to the race. This one I had called that she tripped. And I still haven't heard anybody else say that she tripped. It's like her third step. I don't know what it is. It's like third step with some of these sprinters. Look at Shelly Ann Fraser-Price on her left leg, I think. It's like she kind of tripped a little bit. That kind of stuttered it up. But, you know, that happens with some of the athletes. And the rest is history. Elaine's right there. Got a new Olympic record. She going crazy. She was hot that year. You know, it's a Jamaica 1, 2, 3. So that's the second sweep that Shelly Ann was in at the Olympics. She led the last one. And then now she's second in this one. To the point I felt like she kind of gave up toward the end of this one. But look, you're going to see something. Shelly Ann's going to be a repeat on the women's side. But on the men's side, you about to see different people all the freaking time. You see Aaron Brown again. You see Aaron Brown again in 2022. Yeah, she did have a slight stumble. You see Aaron Brown in 2022. Well, let me go back to the field. That's why I had it here specifically. Sonny Brown, man, talk about people overhyping. I mean, Sonny Brown from Japan on the far right in lane 1. Unfortunately, I think he's a victim because I don't think he was doing the talking. It was like the victim of world athletics. You know, in the sports world, especially for track, in basketball, it's a lot harder. Like Caitlin Clark, Crash Out Clark, as I would call her. She's getting hyped up, and you can kind of hide because you got a team and all of that stuff, but stats ain't lying, and her stats is not looking good. But with an individual sport such as track and field, swimming, with the exception of relays, tennis, it's kind of hard to hide behind. So if somebody like a media, the sports agencies, they're going to hype people up. And unfortunately, he got hyped up and he has not delivered as yet. You know, that can always happen in the future as more time goes on. Even if he winds up winning and getting stuff there, it's not going to be the Usain Bolt effect because you're just going to run out of time. Even if you get it as you're older, you're not young enough to like, I'm going to repeat, get this win, get this win, get this win, get this win. But they were comparing him to Usain Bolt, and he just really has not delivered whatsoever. I'm like, what happened to y'all marketing? But that happens. We got Oblique Seville. People were saying he's going to win. If you say it enough every year and he stays near the top, he's going to eventually, most likely, be like Talu. Talu, had she leaned a little bit more, she might have gotten a win, but hey, it is what it is. A silver. Talu's always there. So people like that, like an Oblique Seville, if he's always there, eventually he could get a medal and he might even slide to a win. These people will think they predicted they're like these people that's trying to predict the future and said the economy's crashing, and they've been saying it for like 20 years, and it finally crashes, and they're like beating their chest. Yes, I am correct. No, you weren't. You didn't do any analysis. You just said, hey, he's Jamaican, I'm Jamaican, or he's this guy, he looks fast, he's gonna win. That's not what goes in the track and field. Then we got Coleman, defending champion. Now, I was wrong on this one. I'm like, man, Coleman coming in with that marketing at the beginning of the season with the interview. Remember, he had an interview. He was trying to do some LeBron James type stuff. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I thought when he had Otto Bolton interview him and sat down. I thought that was excellent marketing, actually. And if he had delivered at the end, that would have shot him and parachuted him through the roof. And unfortunately, he did not follow through. That's what I thought. That would have been a watershed moment for his career. That would have added something more to track and field. And I will say this one thing here. USATF, and this probably gonna get my channel taken down. I'm gonna say it right here. They're gonna find a way to strike my channel. Because, you know, sometimes these organizations let you pile up a bunch of videos and then they strike 3 of your videos at once. So then it automatically deletes your channel. That's what happens. When you get 3 of them that have a strike in a short amount of time, it deletes your channel. USATF did a horrible, god dang freaking job at marketing the World Championships. You didn't even have people know about it was going on in the US. Like, what the hell was going on? Moments, and I didn't have to see Sprint because I got to that part. I think, to episode 3. Somewhere Noah Lyles was like, yeah, I don't know what happened. He was saying it in a nicer way than I am now. But what was USATF thinking? Because World Athletics gives their local agencies more autonomy. That's what Sebastian Coe allowed people to do. He's like, hey, you get to run your own area to a certain extent, especially if you're a major group. Instead of grouping you up, it might be this grouping of like East Africa, and y'all get to run that, West Africa there. But United States has its own control. It's a big enough region and stuff. So what the hell happened? Number one, being in Oregon, horrible idea. Like, put it in a place where a bunch of black people at, a bunch of stuff that's going on in the backgrounds. That I'm just saying. Put it in Atlanta. Put it in Chicago. Put it somewhere where you got bustling and things going on. New York. Put it somewhere where people are going to want to go. That's one. Hey, there's no offense to Oregon itself. It's got a lot of woodland, and for people that like that, it's got a lot of scenic areas and things like that. But it's definitely not a Rio de Janeiro. I mean, that's a bustling place. That got a whole bunch of stuff going on. What the heck is going on in Portland, Oregon? Absolutely nothing. It's like Nike. Hey, everybody, come and look at us. It's a nice headquarters. No. So this number one, the marketing was horrible, but I feel like that was done to a certain extent. This is just my tinfoil hat and kufi on for a second, and then I'm gonna go here. I'm going on this longer for a reason. I feel like they did this on purpose somewhere. Obviously, the people working there, they're meaning well, and me knowing some of the people, somebody did this on purpose, where they're throwing a big championship, but they're doing their marketing wrong, either because it's on accidentally on purpose, that they think this was good marketing, or it was for a different reason, because the shoe companies could keep, you know, the athletes low-key in the U.S. They're big, but low-key in the U.S., and so therefore, they got more power and negotiated power. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. So anyway, here's the feel. Bromell, unfortunately, has been struggling with injuries over the years, and I kind of been hard on him. But, you know, realistically, I mean, if he got injury problems and he's not the type of person to really complain about it, actually, hey, more power to you for even being able to continue and show up. I got to give him that, but he just runs his best times at the completely wrong time. Then we got Coleman, obviously I said that, Oblique Seville. We got Simbine yet again. He's showing up. Fred Curley. He was doing a lot of big talk that year. He was like, look, I'm going to have everybody keep me serious. Then we got Bracy, Aaron Brown, and then Sonny Brown. There we go. Let's go ahead. And yet again, we are not having the same winner whatsoever. Coleman can't come through after his ban to come through to get this win. Dang. And even I pointed out here, when you look at Coleman here, he improved his form so much better. He improved his form so much better during this time. He improved his form so much better when you look at him in a forward view. He was struggling at certain parts. He wasn't in the win. USA sweeps it 1, 2, freaking 3. Coleman's there. I mean, Curly's there. He's looking. He has his celebratory moment. That's where he was like, I'm on top of the world. Let's keep going. Here's the women's final right here. Thinking, hey, maybe it's going to be a repeat. And they doing a little track thing that goes side to side there. I always wonder, where the heck did that come from? It's like a metronome clock. Then we got Hobbs, Asher Smith. Hobbs, you never know what you're going to get with her. I swear. I even called that before. I'm just at the USA's. I'm like, yeah, you never know. She's kind of inconsistent. She's kind of like the, because she could rock it and she could get a medal. I'm telling you, Hobbs got the potential to get a medal, but then she's so inconsistent with her performances. It's kind of like, Bromell. It's like you running your best time at the wrong time. Then we got Fraser Price, Tyloo again, Thompson Hero, Jackson, and Kambunji. Kambunji making these finals. I'm telling y'all, she's sliding up in there. All right, let's go. All right, so we got this. Hey, everybody that's just joining us, shout out to you guys. Let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching from, what country or origin if you're not in your home country, and everything like that. I see we got a boost of people, so thank you guys. Like, comment, share the video. I forgot about that. Get the likes up, share the video. Then we got Thompson Hero, and I even said during this time, I'm like, look, if this were an Olympic year, I'd be like, look, go ahead, gun ho about her winning. But it wasn't an Olympic year. It wasn't an Olympic year. She's been inconsistent when it came to the World Championships, but she's able to actually medal. She got that silver in that 200. Many people actually forget about that for some reason when she set the Jamaican record. It's like Sharika Jackson started doing some things and flying there. But hey, it's short memories, a new sports cycle, a new young face comes up, somebody's looking hot, so sometimes people forget about that. And that's the field. Right here, people are wondering, okay, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price is definitely the favorite. Remember, this is when she, every single race with the exception of one, it might have been this one. No, it was the one after this. She ran a 10.67. She opened meet 10.67. Next meet 10.67. Next meet 10.67. Then another meet 10.63. Next meet 10.67, which was this one. I'm like, dang, she was just on fire. I'm like, Shelly-Ann, stop doing it. Remember, y'all, I told her to stop doing this. Maybe she was trying to like, hey, I'm going to keep hitting at this 10.6 till I get to 10.5 because I didn't lean the previous season with my 10.6 flat. Maybe she was like, hey, she even thought about the world record for the first time in her life, I think. At least publicly, she was discussing it. And I'm like, y'all, I'm nervous that she was going to get injured. And how I called that, the next season, she's injured. I'm like, you're at an advanced age for track and field, for athletics. So no, stop running so much with all this here. But she was milking it. I'm telling you, she milking it, y'all. There she goes. She over there put her hand up. That means that would have been a little bit more. She's celebrating. It would have been a little bit quicker. But it's like she was attracted to 10.67. I'm going to get to the 4x1 in just a second. Let's go over here to the men's side. But she was attracted to 10.67. Now we get to Budapest, which was last year. We got Coleman once again. He's able to make the teams, not this year though. But okay, can we for a second realize it's like this dude came straight out the shower. He's still under the shower head with the shower sprinkling on him. Like, dude is sweating bullets right there. He is sweating bullets. You see everybody else kind of with a dry face or a little bit shiny. Man, Coleman is sweating bullets. He said, I'm fully warmed up. I want to be prepared. I need to get this. We got Amanula. Now, he had some problems with the visa or plane or something like that in 2021. And it kind of messed him up when he came into the first round. He wasn't really even fully warmed up. So I give him that. Sonny Brown still making finals. Okay, I see you. Oblique Seville, yet again, they're like, he's going to do this. He's going to get it. He's going to get this win. Then we got Noah Lyles. People are questioning him. Last year, I didn't really make any videos, so I can't even claim what I would say about it. So I'll say that. I didn't even watch most of track and field last year. I had many other things to do. Then we got Zarnell Hughes, where they're kind of maybe thinking that he's could be a favorite to actually win this one. And then we got Christian Coleman, of course. Tobogo, they're like, hey, that could be another Usain Bolt. So we got the two pretenders right here with the Usain Bolt. We got Sonny Brown right here and Tobogo. They're comparing them as Usain Bolt, but for different reasons. Man, don't have the Usain Bolt curse. Do not let that be the Usain Bolt curse where the person can't actually get a gold. That would be horrible. And like everybody that they claim could be the next Usain Bolt, like they just crash out. That would be horrible. Then we got Ford. I gotta say, he kind of looks just like his mom. I do not go that. I can't get down with Noah Lyles and his nails, with them paint nails. That's just too much. That is just too much. I don't even like it when I see them grunge people doing it. Nope. Very questionable. And there you go. Christian Coleman, of course, is trying to get out, but he can't break Tobago. He can't break Tobago at all. Noah Lyles is pushing and pushing and pushing, and then he breaks it past him. He breaks it past him. Coleman gets his butt waxed out of the medal count. Oblique Seville again, 4th place, not in the medals. Lyles surprises a lot of people and gets that gold. Once he did that and solidified himself, it's like, look, it's over. All right, here's the women, and then we're going to get to the one other thing, and then we're getting to the 4x1. What I believe that's going to happen in these 4x1s. Particularly USA and Jamaica. Now, okay, we got Swoboda. Some people say Swoboda. Then we got Asher Smith. I'm not thinking that Swoboda is a serious factor in this. That's what I am thinking at that moment, watching that race before anything. We got Julian Alfred, the young, fresh threat that's coming up. Unfortunately, you got people here that got some experience and they ain't letting go. This is a very interesting older group of people, because around this time, if you take this back to, let's say, 2004, you take this back to 2000, you take this back to 2008, you get to like in your 30s in the 100, good luck even meddling most of the time. You take this back then, yeah, you get a couple of people here and there. I know we gonna have the fact checkers in the Swabooty. I don't know, but we gonna get the fact checkers that's gonna check me on that one. But getting a gold, I don't know about that. And even meddling, it's kind of like, look, the young crowd gonna come in. Them 19, 20 something year olds, they're gonna come in and they're gonna snatch this win on the men's and the women's side. So that is an amazing feat to get somebody, especially in the 100. You can see it in the 200 a little bit. You can see it in the 400 definitely. Look, think Michael Johnson and everything like that. But here you go. That's the field. We got Richardson on the side. People are counting out. And one thing I had to point out to people, and I did say that, I think right before this, I did make some kind of post or some video. I did like some very quick video, and I even made a comment on it earlier in the season or before this. I said that the matchup between Shericka Jackson, and that video is there. I think that was one of the last videos I did make with Sha'Carri Richardson, actually. Saying she's focused and everything. The matchup between Shericka Jackson and Sha'Carri Richardson is Shericka could beat her, but the thing is, their matchup, every time they raced, Shericka could not beat Sha'Carri. Now, let me go back to this Noah Lyles thing real quick. I will say this. Let me go back to Noah Lyles in this last race. Let me set this up real quick so that we see this. When it comes down to Oblique Seville, because we had some people, and I if I had more time, I would address this here. But this is partially that 100, but redone a little bit better, or a little bit more in depth. There we go. I think this is around that time. Where are we at? Okay. If we had I can't get the camera on them whatsoever. Dang. But anyway, with Noah Lyles, and when it comes to Oblique Seville right here, the matchup between those two is kind of like the matchup with Sharika Jackson and Sha'Carri Richardson. Except here's one problem: it's actually more like the matchup between Justin Gatlin and Usain Bolt. Now, Gatlin has gone on the records at least twice, to my knowledge, so several times, where he said, I just didn't get a chance to race Usain Bolt. I didn't get the chance to get in the time to learn how to beat him. It was like, I raced him once, and this is the word on the street. That's what people were saying. You beat Usain Bolt, he stopped racing you. He avoids you. But I actually had to tell my best friend that is actually incorrect. He's gone up multiple times. And then they were like, nah, he beat them. And then as soon as he got beat, he stopped racing them. And I'm like, nah, because this meet happened here. And yeah, maybe it was an exception here and there, but largely that's what it appeared to be. That's what it appeared to be. But the way I looked at it is, well, hey, that happens. I mean, some of those times he was actually injured, so he's just doing the minimum races that he should do so he could see where he's at. I don't know if it was avoiding. Maybe if you asked him, he would probably claim it's not, even if it was. Let's just keep it real, keep it 100. But here's the thing. Lyles and Seville are like that. They only got to race each other once. Unlike, which means the favorite is not going to be over Seville, because the matchups matter. Matchups in this are like kind of like boxing matchups. Yeah. In normal circumstances, let's say that people were saying Kashane and Seville 1-2. That's just kind of like, I don't see it myself. It's too many people in between Tobogo and other people that could get that. I mean, you got Bednarik. He's looking real good, actually. But we'll see. Now, when it comes down to Lyles and Seville, if it were Seville out of this, let's just say the matchup was like Sharika Jackson and Sha'Carri. If it's Seville out of this, it would be a better matchup with him and Kashane, because you don't have Seville muddying up the water, and that gives Noah Lyles a greater chance to win. But with Seville in there and him being losing against him, it actually puts a drag on Lyles. I don't know if I'm actually explaining that correctly, but I think I'm going to do a whiteboard in this in the future. It's like a psychological thing in the back of somebody's head, even if they're not conscious of it. I've seen this in groups before. When I've coached athletes, when I've helped run a daycare, when I have participated in sporting events, Super Smash Brothers tournaments, so many different things. The matchup between the people, it really does matter. But I don't think that tether between both of them is strong enough to damper Noah Lyles like that. I don't really think so. It was like, hey, that was a one and done race. He came down to Jamaica and Oblique Seville got him and nipped him that time. I don't think that was him learning Noah Lyles, because Noah Lyles got beat by Christian Coleman before at that Diamond League final. That don't mean anything, actually, because a one-off race and rounds are a little bit different. If they race multiple times, then I would say Oblique Seville has an advantage, and then that drags Noah Lyles down, because it'll be like a horse race between the two. They get stuck with each other while Kashane just scampers off with the win. Unlike this, I think Oblique Seville will be a non-factor. So even if he does, let's just say it does go 1-2 like what people are saying, I don't think Oblique Seville has any influence over it. If this were that I got to get into analysis mode there. But here, with Sharika Jackson and Sha'Carri, they raced several times against each other, and not once did Sharika Jackson actually even get a hair's width within beating Sha'Carri. And when you got somebody that's chasing you, think Tyson Gay, because that's the closest one that I can say on the men's side, with enough time, and actually if he didn't get injured, think about 2008. Many people point to Tyson Gay in that 200, and he got injured. And even Usain Bolt, he said, I want to beat him at his best. I want to do that. He was kind of a little bit disappointed. I went back and even rewatched the Beijing Olympics last week in its entirety, and he was saying that. And he was like, well, I got to just do what I can do, right? But if Tyson Gay didn't pull up there, imagine what he did within that 1 year. He went from injured to, and he got back fast so quickly. He was just basically nursing injuries all the time, and that was just unfortunate for him. But imagine him avoiding injury, and you're able to build on a strong engine, build on a strong pyramid foundation of injury-free. That's the problem with people that get injured, like Elaine Thompson Hero. She goes from injured to super quick to back to injured because, and Dina Asher Smith, she gets quick and then she's injured, hampers her, and she's dealt with this her whole life. So it's like going backwards, a step backwards, 2 steps forward, a backwards, 2 steps forward, and then you're chasing it, especially because you're a professional and you only got a short shelf life. So you're trying to get back at that elite level, but it hurts you again because you're training so hard. Now, only Justin said, people saying Sharika will beat Sha'Carri, but Sha'Carri looks even leaner than she was at trials in a relay camp video from earlier today. Yeah, I didn't get to see the relay camp video at all. I had a very busy day. Actually, it was a very good day. But I can believe that. I can believe that because people are going to try to get on their championship weight right now, and they're just going to get real fit. So sometimes people do slim down when it comes down to getting close to these championships, because that's another advantage. If you can keep the strength, lose some of the size, you're lighter, you're just as strong, so now you're going to be more powerful or get a bigger pop off the ground than you otherwise would. So that's actually very promising. Now, during this year, in 2023, people thought Sharika, and even some of you guys admitted, you were like, yeah, I was surprised by Sha'Carri, and I didn't think about their matchup the entire year. Every single time they raced, she lost against her. The only one that could have beat Sha'Carri in this race was one, if she couldn't take the pressure. That was number one. Okay? That was number one. I thought that the lane 9 was her best bet. She's away from Shelly Ann. She's away from anybody that would be near her ability. She's next to Talu. She's actually, anybody near her ability would be at least 3 lanes away. Julian Alfred, at the time, at least with the start, she would have been able to challenge her in the beginning. But all of that was lane 6, 5, 4, and 3. Because Melissa Jefferson, like I said, she's going to be the closest American that can beat Sha'Carri. And many of y'all really get on my case with it. But hey, we'll see. And then you said a legendary Super Saiyan. Jackson said, I don't see Sha'Carri losing the 100. Yeah, I can't really see her losing the 100 either. But here it is. Okay, now, you know this is a problem when Sharika can get out ahead of Shelly Ann. Like, you know this is a problem when Sharika is able to get out. And maybe it's just the angle, but I don't believe so. Sharika, Shelly Ann was a little bit in front of her, but Shelly Ann fell back too much. And like I said, she was struggling with a little bit of injury issue. And I'm like, look, that came from the year before. I called it, y'all. I called that. I'm like, look, don't be racing this hard. And then Sha'Carri, being with nobody around her, all she got to do is just run her race. That happens. Actually, if y'all go back to these championships and Olympics and everything, somebody on the far outside lane actually has a pretty decent chance of winning when it's a big name. If it's a big name in that outside lane, and it's like otherwise all they had was a bad semifinal, and it wasn't like they were like beat up or injured or something like that. These people on the outside lanes, I'm talking about 400 hurdles, I'm talking about 100 a whole bunch of times. And by a whole bunch of times, I'm talking about Diamond League, Golden, dang, I forget what it was called. Golden Tour, Golden League, what the one before Diamond League. Yeah, you look at somebody on the far outside lane, 8 or 9, and that's what it is. Sha'Carri had nobody to worry about. And just like I saw in sprint, that's exactly what I thought. The coach just had to remind her, who's the fastest out there? AKA, focus on yourself. When you aren't near everybody else and you just had something real bad, that's actually a blessing in disguise. She's not like it was like a 200. It's not like it's a 200 or something like that, and then you're in lane 1. That would have been horrible. But yeah, she is exactly where she had needed to be. And Talu, as always, she getting up there, getting a 4th place, man. Talu. Oh my goodness. Talu is there. Talu is always there. This is very good. Like I said, if I couldn't be the top spots, always getting medals, I want to be where Talu is. Always making finals. Always in right there, almost close enough. She getting paid big bucks because fourth place does get a decent amount of money. And as World Athletics is upping the pay, and they still need to up it more for the athletes. Obviously, I ain't even getting a benefit, and I'm over here fighting for them. Ain't that ironic? Smash that like button and share with others. That's how it is. And then you said, I don't see why Alfred doesn't medal in the 100 meters. You continue. So, now that we got all of that there, did I forget something? Oh, no, I didn't. Now, let me go over here. I don't think that Julian Alfred has a bad shot at the 100. I see her. It's gonna be a bronze. I see her as a bronze, but I don't see her as a silver. But I'll get into that later. They said Talu cried hard after this race last year. I really feel for her. Really? Oh my goodness. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, because as a competitor that Talu is, and she's got a very similar profile as Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, and she switched coaches. Yeah, you know what? She had switched coaches. What was it? She wasn't lifting weights before, but then she started lifting weights and everything like that. It is so very interesting because, yes, I would like to be like a Talu, but from Talu's perspective, let's get real for a second. I'm glad you had pointed that out. From Talu's perspective, she's over here like, damn it, I'm fourth again. I'm over here putting in this work. The last time I got a medal was back in 2017. I'm over here doing this year after year after year. I'm setting African record, matching it technically, but setting African record. I'm over here doing in the work, doing in what I need to do, going through injuries and working through that, doing these diamond leagues and doing it. And I'm still, no matter what, diamond leagues, world championships, Olympics, finishing fourth, sometimes fifth, but finishing fourth most of the time. I can't get this. That's gotta be like hell in her head. The way I look at it from when I've looked at other people, and I took on this mindset a few years ago. So it wouldn't have been at her age. On the one hand, I'm a little bit surprised, but everybody has it a little bit different because she's a top competitor. And for her to get there, she probably has to have this mindset. Me, on the other hand, obviously not being there, but being there in different other arenas like trading, having local trading competitions and things like that, and trying to establish something from like a video game with trading or something like that eventually in the future, who knows. But I would have taken it where it's like, look, let me enjoy the moment. Because I've heard too many of these athletes, they're there and they're like, look, I got a silver medal, I got fourth place, I got this, I got that, and I regret not being able to live in that moment and saying, hey, I made it here. 99% of other people did not. But if she did cry after the moment, I hope that she at least enjoyed it afterward and didn't let it damper her, because that would suck. All these years, you get to travel around the world, you get to meet awesome people, you make friends with them. Many of the athletes are at least cordial, and some of them friends behind the scenes, and date each other and stuff like that. You get to go to places you otherwise wouldn't. I would hope that they would enjoy these moments. So let's go ahead right here. Let's look at the roster for Team USA. Shout out to the Illinois squad real quick. Tori Franklin. All right, she's representing Team USA again. Another person. I took an L with this one. I got to be honest, y'all. Before y'all start accusing me of talking too much and say big mouth just like Noah Lyles. Man, that's kind of petty. He didn't actually say anything, but hey, it is what it is. But another rejection. I think I already mentioned her. Did I? For the people that have been here for the last few years, did I mention that? I was like, man, she had been training at the high school I had went to. And so I'm like, all right, cool. She's there. I'm up here. I think that's when I had stopped coaching or whatever again. And so I said, hey, what's up? She said, no, thank you. I said, all right, cool. I'm going to keep it moving. It was almost like that. But anyway, then there's Courtney Lindsay, Aaron Reese, Jaden Ulrich, and Zach Zymick. Zach Zymek. So shout out to the Illinois squad, particularly the Chicagoland area, which is basically the top 4 people. Itasca is a little bit too far away. Now, where is this at? Now, here's something that I saw that was breaking news to me about Kimba Nelson. I don't keep up on Twitter or X or anything like that often, but this kind of affected my viewpoint of the 4x1 slightly. And I'm glad I did wait and I didn't do this video last week like I wanted to. And I still can't find the full roster, so if you guys know the full roster for Jamaica, let me know what that is in the comment section below. Because they like changed at the last minute, and it kind of threw me out of whack. Because I thought I knew what the squad was, and then, nah, I don't. So, if they took Kimba Nelson out, like, what's going on? So, let's cover this real quick, and then I'm going to go into these things, because this was kind of weird. So, here's the title here. Another one by Prasan Chakrabarty. She said, won't be in Paris. Jamaican track and field team selection controversy leads to another heartbreak just days before. And actually, that is true. Hold on. What is the hammer thrower's name? No. Here it is. This was really weird. Before I get into that 4x1, let me do a quick shout out because this, I don't know how I would be okay. Because you working hard, the Olympics only comes by once every 4 years, so I can see why people will put high importance to it. So it says JAAA deeply, quote, deeply saddened by CAS ruling preventing national champion Nayoka Clunis, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. I apologize in advance for not pronouncing it correctly, from competing in the Paris Olympics. Okay, now this was an accident. This was an oversight on behalf of the JAAA, because she qualified in the hammer throw because she went to the World Championships last year. But they didn't put her name on the list to World Athletics. Now, to me, I would think that World Athletics, since if somebody brings it to their attention, would say, hey, look, I know y'all said 32 participants. Here it is right here, 32 participants. But you should really allow 33 because, mistake. They got to pay them a little bit of money or something like that. Pay them a little bit of money. But let her in there. But maybe because they had a deadline, and the deadline had passed. But she thought that she did it, so she didn't see the list. And then she saw the list. Here it is. The application files by Miss Noyoka Clunis from Jamaica, who sought a decision from CAS, that's the Court of Arbitration Sport, ad hoc division, directing that she should be included on the appropriate list to participate in the hammer throw competition at the Olympics in Paris 2024. Could not be entertained as it was filed outside the jurisdiction of the CAS ad hoc division, Paris 2024. So basically, the Court of Arbitration of Sport, from all I know, they only deal with like drug cases. I haven't seen them do really anything else. So that's why they're saying, hey, this is out of our jurisdiction because we don't deal with drugs. I haven't seen them arbitrate anything else in sports other than that. That's the only thing I see them get a headline for. So if you guys are one of them members or something like that for CAS, let me know if y'all do anything else. As a consequence, the case could not be reviewed on its merits. That's what it said. It continued. Nayoka Clunis was qualified and selected by JAAA to represent Jamaica in the hammer throw competition at the Olympic Games Paris 2024, but her name was not submitted by JAAA to World Athletics due to an unfortunate omission. The unused quota was reallocated to another athlete, Arena Climates of Ukraine. So they only have a certain amount of people that are allowed to participate in the Olympics. They only got certain spots, and they said, we're not making the exception for you. It's not our fault, World Athletics. I'm speaking, kind of for them. It's not our fault. So that's where it is. So I'm sorry about that. She's 28 years old. That's got to be heartbreaking. Like, I would snap. I'm going on all types of stuff. I don't know what I would do. They leaving me out of that, and I know I made it. Like, I know I made it. She set a national record earlier this year. I think it was in May, 71.83 meters. So I'm just like, and she been kind of on fire for her. She been kind of on fire. I think she threw over 70 meters like uh 3 or 5 times or something like that. That's crazy. So let's get back to this. That's crazy. So Kimba Nelson, and we about to see a lot more problems with the JAAA. What's going on in Jamaica, y'all? What's JAAA doing? Like, what is going on? It's starting to compete with USATF on some real funny this shouldn't be going on stuff. Like, I don't know what's going on. So today, July 22nd, which is not today, this is 2 days later, the World Championship silver medalist put in X status, adding "won't be in Paris Olympics" heartbreak emoji. There it is. However, the JAAA initially included her name on the roster for the Paris Olympics, despite not selecting her beforehand. Today, she learned that same authority had overturned its decision, removing her name from the list once again. Surprisingly, this move came on the same day that Noyoka Clunis saw her plea rejected by the ad hoc division of the Court of Arbitration Sport. Nayoka applied to grant her entry to the Jamaican hammer throwing team for the Paris Olympics. Previously, the same JAAA failed to put her name on the roster even after the athlete's qualification. That's embarrassing. She made several submissions to the athletic body to rectify. Okay, we already went over that. For Kimba Nelson, the experience remained a mixed bag. Today, in one of her tweets, she pinned okay, I just hate that I accepted it. Then they added my name. Then now I'm not needed at the moment. Oh, okay. You know what? That's got a sting too. That's got a freaking sting too. What is the official squad for Team Jamaica now? Because they took Kimba Nelson off. I actually thought she would have a high chance of making it. But for the Olympics, I think it's different qualifying standards than the team for World Championships, because from what I saw from USATF, and I can only speak for USATF, I believe it was the overall world athletic standard. You could only pick, okay, for Team USATF, it was the top 3 go by right. Then it was the next 2. There's only 2 alternate or 2 extra people that could be selected, and they have the right to do that. So the 4th person and the 5th person. It didn't make it seem like 8. I kept always thinking 8, and I'm like, where did that number come from? But from what it looked like only 5 people total for that. Or was it 6? So when I had looked at that, I looked at this only 2 days ago. Now, it says in the Jamaica Olympic trials this year, the 24-year-old came 5th in the 100-meter race. Okay. But she received good news on July 14th. That's crazy. Imagine that you still training. You booked the ticket. Are they about to refund her ticket? Are they going to refund her ticket? That's what I'm thinking. You booked the ticket, or actually, you got to do it yourself if you're going with the team. So the Olympics is like literally around the corner. You booking tickets, you telling family, you probably trash talking ex or 2 or, rivals or whatever. Like, yeah, I get to do this. Now you look like you got egg on your face because now they said, you know what? On second thought, no. So it was Kimba Nelson's game day at the World Continental Challenge meet, and she took 3rd place in the 100. Now, I wonder, did they see her finish 3rd place in that 100 and was like, yeah, I don't know. She ain't looking good enough to me. We need somebody better. Could that be the case? Okay, let's go down. Okay, so they're just saying that she went back there. I was going to do a Jamaican accent with this. Now I don't feel like it. I feel like it's the pressure there. Never mind. I was going to read this in a Jamaican accent, or a funny one because I laughed at myself earlier. I literally read it out loud. I was like, I'm gonna do this later. I'm not. It's no accent you could sell me, guys. I'm not Drake. So I'm gonna just do my thing. So anyway, so as far as Team USA, it took this long time to get to here. Uh, it took a long time to get to here. Here is the list, the relay pool athletes when it comes to. Let's go to the women first. So we got Kaylin Brown. This is gonna be the mixed relay, the 4x1 and the 4x4. So we got Shamir Little. She's actually gonna be on that 4x4 squad. I don't know which one of those because this list right here does not show with that. But we got Kaylin Brown, Tamari Davis, Quinera Hayes, Aaliyah Hobbs, Shamir Little, and Isabella Whitaker. So Whitaker, make it. Now, when it comes down from the 4x1, just a matchup for the women. Let's put this here. And let's put this video on screen.
Ready to finish off.
Okay. So let's put this here on the screen so that we can get let's do this. I think we had them somewhere. All right. Now, when it comes to Team Jamaica, I wanted to get both the teams right in front of each other. When it comes down to Team Jamaica and Team USA, this is going to be an obvious, easy one to call right here. It's got to go to Team USA. I think anybody would be right out their mind when it comes down there. The only question here is that what is Tia going to do on her leg? Is she going to put any damage onto Team USA? You know, the young upstart. She's coming out there. She was looking really good at the Jamaican trials. What does Tia do? Now, if Tia pulls a Shelly Ann, and this could always happen, and there's the young upstart win it all in the open 100, I might actually change depending on how much she wins by, depending on the time that she does it and how close the competitors are. I might actually change depending on so many factors. Sharika Jackson, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, does she make the final? Does she make it out the rounds? Because she's looking a little bit, shaky now. Does she make it out of those rounds? If she makes it out the rounds and Tia gets a win, I'm going to put the favor in the favor of Team Jamaica, except those handoffs are atrocious. And that's the thing that messes up Jamaica more often than not. But the pure speed plus the decent handoffs could have Jamaica beat Team USA. If that happens, I'm calling it here. I gotta call the scenarios right now. If you get Tia and she comes by and she makes that final, she doesn't win. Instead, she makes the final, it's gonna go to Team USA. Team USA just got heavy hitters. You got Sha'Carri, you got TT Terry. You know they gonna have Gabby up on there. Just those three right there. They're always doing well. Sha'Carri got that. Gabby's got her spot. Those two, you could switch out anybody else. Team USA got like 4 other women you could switch in those spots. With Sha'Carri and Gabby alone, you're almost certain to get a win. You just gotta be in proximity when Gabby gets it. She gonna eat up that curve. That's the spot she should be on. I would say that she gets on that the second curve. And then Sha'Carri, you already know she closes. You get her at a running start already. It's not like it's a 200 where she could start fading. So you got her basically like a fly 120. She gonna pull off on you. You already done seen what that can happen. Regardless of TT Terry, regardless of anybody else that's there, you are gonna have one heck of that. But here's the thing. I think world record watch is on for this women's 4x1. Team Jamaica could not do that in 2021, unfortunately, and that really, in my opinion, came down to handoffs. That came down to handoffs. Brianna Williams did her job. She ate up who she could on that at the start. She did her job. You had the 3 fastest. They ran with slight wind, and they set an Olympic record. Actually, 2 of them didn't Shelly Ann even go under the old Olympic record, or she was right there. You had Sharika Jackson. You had 2 10.6s on your freaking squad, plus a 10.7. And then Brianna Williams. That's a big ass fumble not to get the world record at that time. And many people have said, hey, Jamaica focuses on the individual more. So even with faster people, even let's say Tia getting it, I think they're gonna have to, y'all better get them exchanges right. I'm just throwing out a scenario here. I don't think it's likely that Tia could win, but I would not be surprised, because that's what happens when some young upstarts come. They just kind of snatch it all. They just run away with it. It's just that exuberance. If she won, I wouldn't be surprised. That's what I'm saying here. If somebody else wins outside of, let's say, a Sha'Carri, a Sharika, well, man, a Sha'Carri, Julian Alfred, those are the two that I really put there. Shelly Ann, the fact that she's just showing up, I don't know. She had that surgery. I'm thinking that this might be the time she might not medal. But knowing her, she comes through and she puts in the work. So I see her making a final, medaling. That now I actually got to question it. This is the first time ever that I've questioned that. And I'll see after the first round. What do y'all think about what I just said right there? Y'all give me y'all thoughts so far. But yeah, if you got a Clayton in that final, and you got 3 strong Jamaicans there, you got the 3 Americans there making it, I think it's going to be a hard-ass task not to break the world record. Now, let's look at the men. I'm going to give y'all a second to catch up because y'all a little bit behind me. Actually, where the heck is that? That should be right there. What is that? 4x1? I'm going to have to type it in manually. Okay, there we go. The men probably should pop up here. There it is. I'm going to let y'all catch up to that from what I just said. If you guys are just started, shout out to you guys. Smash the like button and share the video. Now we're going to get to the men here real quick. Now let me see where I can get an image of both Jamaica. Because this is where it is going to get real interesting. Because unlike last year, you got a Kashane. That's going to influence this a lot more, y'all. That's going to influence this a lot more. Now, on the men's side, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Okay, where is this at? Oh, they don't got a head-on shot like a from the ground shot. Y'all know on the relays, they usually do. This is the closest I can get there. That's the closest because they're going to change the camera angle. So, yeah, with Team USA, I wanted to show both of them at the same time, more like that. If this is a Kashane on that team, the team, from the way he's looking now, regardless, if he loses, I still say Team USA is probably sweating on the men's side. Assuming Jamaica can make the rounds and Team USA make the rounds. It's kind of iffy these days on both squads. For real. Team USA has been very consistent, actually. Team Jamaica is a little bit iffy. Now, I would say they sweat, but Team USA just going to have a better overall team. You're going to have 2 fast guys. You're going to have Oblique Seville. You're going to have Kashane Thompson. But with Team USA, you're going to have, from the way it looks now, 3 fast guys and a 4th that they could either pull from the 200 or they could use who they got in reserve from the 1. And either way, either which way you looking at this, Team USA still has a, I would say they're still favored right here overall. But with Kashane Thompson, this is that's throwing a wrench in it. Because how much did this man hold back, and how much, knowing the coach that he is working with, and this goes under the assumption that he wins it all. Is this man going a 9-6 or a 9-5? You know what? Other people, I wouldn't say it, but how smooth and buttery he was looking. Pause for a second. Hold up. No homo. How smooth and buttery his form was looking. And that Jamaican final. and that he just kind of went up and did what he needed to do at the 60 and made sure that Seville was not going to beat him. I saw that. It was kind of like a little horse race right there a little bit. He's like, hey, I shut down. Seville tried much further up until what, 90 meters or something? Like, you could see when his body kind of let go, and he was like, I can't ease past him. Okay, I'll take the second. But with Kashane there, it really depends. Noah 9-7. Oh, wait a minute. I'll get back to that one in a second. Jerome McKenzie. I'll get back to that in a second. Let me stick to the men's side real quick, because sometimes I jump around. Now, when it comes here, with the men's side, does Noah Lyles run a 9-7? It's going to depend a lot on that. And Bednarik is on his tail. Is on his ass. Do both of them. Because, okay, and then you got Oblique Seville that's there. I don't think he's anywhere near a Kashane Thompson. I could see Noah Lyles because he has that slingshot thing where you could pull somebody in. The only way you really beating Noah Lyles, you just got to be outright fast. That's it. Anybody else that's just not outright fast, and you get him through the rounds and he's opening up his gears, like he said, he was like, man, it's just one race. I felt like I needed another one. Yeah, exactly. Some people are like that. That's how my best friend is. He needs some rounds. He's like, look, one-off race, okay, cool. But he gets faster and faster each round. And he's like pushing himself. So you get those rounds, the prelims, semis, and finals. Some people, they just open up. And Noah Lyles seems to be that person so far. So in order to beat him, since it's not the dynamic of a one-off race, and we discussed earlier that Oblique Seville is not the intimidating factor to Noah Lyles, the only way I see him getting beat is somebody's got an outright gun to tape. That's it. And Kashane Thompson does look like that person. Now, Kenny Bednarik, he's so close to him, he's almost got Noah Lyles' number. And I know that confidence is coming and kicking in. So I'm discussing both things, 100 and 4x1. This is very important dynamics. Because if you get Bednarik there, and let's say they pull that dynamic, it don't even matter if it's him in front of Noah Lyles or him behind Noah Lyles. They're going to be close, in my opinion. They're going to be close. Bednarik is going to be close to him. He's almost got his number. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to beat him. Because remember, I talked about Abby Steiner and, was it Clark? Tamara? I always get Davis and Tamari Davis and Tamara Clark mixed up, is because their first name is almost spelled the same, and I get both of them there. But I believe it was Clark, and I said, y'all, she's running behind and she's getting slightly closer every single race. She's gonna beat her, and that's exactly what winded up happening. Clark winded up beating Abby Steiner at the most important race of the year. Okay, that's what winded up happening. Now, is Bednarik in that position? This one is harder to tell because Noah Lyles has that so smooth and slight just moving through the crowd. Think about a person that just kind of walks through and you can't really tell them that they're there. There's a coach at York High School in Elmhurst, Illinois, the head coach, Coach Reddle, and he would go from one side. I mean, this man is 6 foot something, 200 something pounds, real big and everything like that. And he'll be talking or whatever. It's kind of like how those Japanese animes go. You know, like when a person walks backwards and you can't even tell they moved. And you like, okay, we're over here at the 200-meter start. Man, you look up, the dude, we talking, and it feel like only 10 seconds or something went by. He's already at the 100-meter start. I mean, at the finish line. And it's like, Coach Riddle, how the hell did you get over there? Everybody's thinking that. He had a presence that just wasn't felt. That's kind of like Noah Lyles. So his presence is felt when he does all those theatrics beforehand. But on the track, he's just moving, just in and out, weaving in and out of the crowd. It's like one of these people weaving. Somebody trying to box him, he just Floyd Mayweather and everybody. That's how he runs, in my opinion, the 100. But it's Kenny Bednarik right there. It's so hard for me to tell because of Noah Lyles' running style. That's why it's hard for me to tell. I don't know. I would think naturally they raced enough to get, against each other that he probably is gonna get ahead of him. That's what my prediction is, that he could probably get ahead of him. But it comes down Benerick, Lyles, Kashane. Now with that dynamic out of the way, Team USA could be sweating and under pressure depending on how fast Kashane Thompson runs, injury free, of course, barring anything like that. I would say that it would be still Team USA with a slight advantage, but it really is gonna depend. And I would say he's either best used on his second leg. I think second leg for Kashane is the best because that leg could run the longest leg. You got them right out of the curve and on the back, so you're having two people. You pass him sooner off of the first leg, and you exchange it from him later in the exchange zone to the third leg athlete. That's how you make them run the longest on that second leg. So you want to use that advantage. That's why they put Shelly Ann a lot of times on the second leg. They're trying to use that advantage of the perceived and most of the time actuality fastest runner. You want them to run the second leg. Now for, marketing purposes and everything, a lot of times you want to run your big name person like a Usain Bolt on the final leg because, hey, it looks better this way. Plus you got your fastest person there. But strategically, you want to run your fastest person on that second leg on that back straightaway. So Team USA wins, slight advantage. But if he goes a low 9-6, I would say even Jamaica could win with that one because Oblique Seville, I can see him going a 9-7. But he has to go. He has to go 9-7. If he can't get a 9-7, I still say even with Thompson going a 9-6, assuming that, everybody's healthy and everything like that, Lyles, he's not going to be a slouch. And Benerick's not going to be a slouch. That's making some assumptions here. Just those, I'm only talking about 2 instead of 3 because I say it's a given with everybody else. Though you got 3 Americans that's going to be there. Christian Coleman, he's going to be in a rage zone. So I see him doing real well just because he's in rage. If he's so much of a blind rage, he messes up in exchange, man, they better get a refund from this dude for their plane tickets. That's what I'll say. If he's in a blind rage and he's the one that messes up in exchange for Team USA, get a refund off of him. But I would say Christian Coleman's in a rage, so he's going to get a rage boost, and he's not going through that. Now, Jerome McKenzie said a few minutes ago, he said, wait a minute, hey, what you are forgetting about Jamaica's failure to win that World Championships women 4x1 is the injury that occurred to Shelly Ann Fraser-Price while she was running to hand off. She was already dealing with an injury. I would say, and could you clarify which one? Because if it's last year, I was out of loop. I just knew that she was injured even really coming into that. But maybe she said it was injured in that 4x1. But as far as this, she was already injured. And so you getting somebody that's dealing with some niggles, because that's what the athletes and everybody would say when it's not like a big serious injury. I would still say that I got a hamstring strain right now, and as I was told from the physician, athletic, dang, I forget her actual title, but it's not a trainer, but she's not a trainer, she's not a trainer, but she works with a lot of collegiate athletes and a few elite athletes. She costs a lot of money. She told me I have an elongated hamstring. I was like, I have never heard of that. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was told this today. So I have an elongated hamstring, and I got to deal with that while I'm still trying to train and do certain things. And eventually want to break 4 minutes in a mile. I actually recently got a little more serious about it, so I'm going to prepare for the next 3-4 years to do that. Now, you might have people dealing with that, but to me, it's like an injury. Because me feeling this hamstring, I really cannot do the hill workouts I was trying to do. Not like that. I got to move a lot slower, and as she told me, basically, I can't just come out and sprint. I got to come out and slowly build up. Like, I basically got to do a fly into whatever I'm doing. I can't just explode out unless I'm really, really warmed up, roll it out with a tennis ball, all that other good stuff. I know I'm kind of pontificating on myself for a second, but if you're dealing with that, many people wouldn't call that an injury, but I would call it, what else is that? Because many people can run with injuries. There's people run with broken legs. Mateo for Team USA. Remembering that 4x4? Okay, you got people running with glass in their foot, like one of my teammates. Basically, the whole season, he's running with glass in his foot. You got other people. Bromell, he was already injured coming into Rio. So you got people running with injuries already, or with things that they wouldn't quote unquote call an injury, but it is an injury. Like any normal person getting that's an injury. But athletes, they might not look at it like that. You said look at the margin they lost by. Okay, let's go back to that race. Actually, let's go back to the race. That is a fair one. Let's go back to the race. And let's go watch that. Fair use, YouTube and NBC Sports. It should be right here. Let's go look at that race again. I would say that it's still there. But yeah, the year that you would expect it, Team USA, Team Jamaica to win, it's like, yo, they didn't set the record. And another year, I still thought it was favoring them, but Team USA won. So here we go. Team USA on the inside, and Team Jamaica just on their outside with the Ivory Coast right there. Okay. Since we are watching this again, I know this one gonna give me a copyright strike right here, even though it's commentary. Pause that, rewind it. It don't even matter. They still hit me with them claims. And again, guys, share this video, join the channel. Join the channel membership. It does support. We might have some on the ground reporting. Okay. So let's see. Right here. Got a decent start. Team USA kind of ate up the stagger right there. Okay. So you guys are saying Shelly Ann had an injury. And that makes sense. Because if I'm not mistaken, okay, now, remember, I said this right now, and I actually forgot. I watched so many of these races so many times, I'll be forgetting. But they put Shelly Ann on the second leg, and as I said, you even see it here. She gets the exchange, at least she was trying to get it early, from her former teammate. And now her name is escaping me for whatever reason. And then she goes and passes it off. And so you said she sustained an injury. And I would say it looks like if that is true, that where she got the injury, it would have come right about there. Because that's when she kind of looks funny. Right about where that pole vault, right after that pole vault tent, right here, if that is the injury you guys are talking about, because then she kind of looks funny, but it's like, of course, she is just continuing to go through. Damn, that was a nasty exchange right there for the Ivory Coast. What the heck happened? Were they playing tumbling or something? Now you saying by the margin they lost by? I don't know, because in almost no circumstance would I have seen a matchup. Look, okay, even if they were right next to each other, let's be honest. Let's be very honest real quick. Let's be very honest. There is no way Sharika was going to beat Sha'Carri right here. Yes, she got the 200-meter advantage. She would have been better used on the curve, not the home straightaway, if this were the case. If we had somebody match up like this, she would have ate up more people on the curve, because she could eat up people, at least this last year, she was eating up people on that curve that otherwise would have got it. It was either Shelly Ann, she ate up everybody. No, that was the year before. Or Sharika Jackson. And Sharika Jackson was just untouchable. Not in this home straightaway. Yes, you would think because she got a running start that would give her advantage. No, it's under 150 meters. So that advantage goes to Sha'Carri. Even if they were right next to each other. Sharika Jackson is barely, you see her close a little bit or appear to close. And it's like, no. If they were next to each other, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. You saw what happened in the Open 100. That's the problem here. You saw what happened in the Open 100. The best that Shelly Ann could have done, they wouldn't have been in the lead, because look at where they're exchanging right now. I don't think they would have. Jamaica would have been in the lead, and if so, that would have just helped Sha'Carri even more. I don't see any scenario. I got to be honest here, and I'm not being biased on this one. I just don't see a scenario where Jamaica could have won this 4x1. On the one hand, you got Sha'Carri, which pulls and drags people in, and on the other hand, you got them only slightly closer, and maybe Sharika did inch toward her. Based on the angle, the camera angle, it looked like they could have stayed even, but I'm gonna give it to her that she closed on her a tiny bit. They would have had to be side by side, and I really don't see that this was gonna be Sharika's advantage here. I just gotta be honest. Even without that right there, it just would have been closer, but it still would have been Team USA's win. But actually, now that you point that one out, maybe Jamaica was like, yeah, Kimba Nelson, you ain't fit to cut it. And like I said, let's go back to Kimba Nelson. Actually, after pointing that out, I'm glad you guys did. Maybe that third place, like I said, it was on the same day she went to that World Continental Challenge meet, and she took third place. And I got some suspicions that what is that? What does that stand for? The Jamaican Athletics Association something? What's that stand for, y'all? The JAAA. Oh, Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, right? They over there said, yeah, you know what? We trying to get this 4x1 win back, especially for the Olympics. That third place, that's not going to cut it. Your competition that you're racing against, they're not that good. So I'm going to need you to get off this relay team. I feel like that's what happened. What do y'all think about that? I think that really did influence her. She kind of messed herself up by doing that tune-up meet. She kind of messed herself up, and I would say, quote, messed herself up. But she's over there thinking, hey, everything's good. But then you find out it's not good, because they said, we saw what you did, and we just didn't select you. I didn't know people could just be doing that. They changing their mind. You think that when they put out their, their list, like what they did with Quincy Wilson, you think that, okay, this list is finalized. But then they go back and forth. Maybe they just leak the list and say, hey, what does people think? Okay, no, here. But they fighting back and forth. I didn't know that they could wait as late as the 22nd. But from the other article of leaving out the other woman off the team, they said it already passed the date like 10 days before. So how did you leave Kimba off, but her name was on there? Unless they didn't put it beforehand. I don't know. And one last thing. Hey, Jamaica, y'all athletic bodies, get it together, please. Particularly black nations, come on, get y'all administration together. Because y'all start spitballing against each other about who messed up and who here. See, it's the JOA, which is the Jamaican Olympic Association, blaming the JAAA for that mess up and not having a team. Yeah, that was crazy. They were going back and forth. I'm not even going to get into that here because I could get into those. But they were going back and forth at each other's necks. And I'm like, dang, y'all doing this kind of publicly. Here it is. They said they don't have the authority to dictate the number of coaches and athletes. And they said they were still looking to fill the team. And I'm like, y'all still looking to get a roster together? That's kind of crazy. So things, even last minute, they don't have all the teams together. So if there is something that people can do, I say if you are Jamaican, try to go help the Jamaican Association get their stuff more organized, because that would be very, very good. But anyway, I think we covered everything today. Thank you guys for coming out. We were going to have more of an open discussion, but I kind of filled it more about the 100s. So many of those races in the beginning. So I think on the next one, if you guys hear this on a post recording, let me know what you guys want me to cover. I will be covering the women's 100-meter hurdles, the top 3 pick, because somebody asked me. This is going to be a headache. I'm going to have to review some videos. So give me 1 or 2 days. I'm going to review some videos. I might do a live on that, or I might not. But I definitely will do the video on that, because that is going to be kind of hard for me to do. I'm telling y'all, for that 100-meter hurdles, they got too many dang differences. It's like the men's 100. Every year, somebody different. But the men's 100 is easier to pick. That 100-meter hurdles, yeah, it's who you think gonna win is somebody else. Who you think gonna make it, they fall over a hurdle. Like, it's very exciting to me. Yeah. Let me see. Here's a comment. Lion King Football and Entertainment said maybe they need to fit an official in so they can't bring her. Yeah. They got limited number of athletes. So a real quick thing here, they got, like, you know how NCAA is. They got so many lanes, so it's so many people. So I believe, for example, you got your 32 people. All right, you got 32 people that get into these lanes. That's it, 32. And then you got the at-large bids, which are I think it might go up to a field of 40. Man, I forgot the number. But let's just say 64 total. Okay, let's just say 64. Just double the number, make it easy. Okay, because you notice these lanes, they're starting to build them with 9 lanes. Because I even said something the other day. I was like, wait a minute. I noticed this for the last couple championships. They got 9 lanes. And they're having meets with 9 lanes, not just 8. So then I looked it up, and they said starting in 2025, they're going to have 9 lanes. So even the sport of track and field, athletics, the leagues, actually, I wouldn't say the sport, but they're adjusting the sport. Just like they adjust the pole vault, and they still call it the same event, even though the standards have changed, and that's unfair for records. It should be different records, but that's another topic. They are changing the lane numbers. So starting in 2025, it will be standard that they will have 9 lane tracks, and that their goal is to fill it up. So if somebody doesn't make a round or something, or they pull out at the last minute, you better have been warmed up, because it might be you that makes the final. You see that? I think it'll be even smarter that if somebody false starts, they just fill up the other person that didn't make the final. That would be newsworthy. If somebody false starts, they pull somebody that didn't even make the final originally, right? That couldn't make it out the semi, put them in there, and they win. That would be crazy, even if they medaled. That would be freaking crazy. And I wonder how many complaints would happen from the other athletes, like, yo, they didn't make the final. This person false started. They shouldn't get there. But that's where World Athletics is moving the sport. They are moving them in that direction. So if you don't make one round, they are now putting you there. They even floated around the idea starting in 2025 that if you didn't make it out the prelims, you actually got a second chance. All right, you got a second chance. You know how they used to do 4 rounds, the quarterfinals and then the semifinals. They're basically going to put you in a quarterfinals bracket with all these people if you didn't make it out the prelims. And then you get to earn your right into the semis, and then you get to go into the finals. But everybody else that makes it, they just go straight into the semis. So you get them to have 4 races for people that can't make it outright the prelims instead of 3 races. That's where they're moving this at now. But as far as that, they only have a certain amount of people. So this is the word that World Athletics gave. They said the JAAA put in something for Clunis, and they were like, yeah, it was a mistake. So what ended up happening is somebody that didn't make it because of the qualifying standards, they had World Athletic points, and they gave that to the Ukrainian athlete, so she couldn't get in. In the case of Kimba Nelson, what ended up happening is they winded up changing their mind and replacing her with another athlete. That's what winded up happening. So it wasn't a coach. They replaced her because you only get a certain amount of alternates. And from my understanding, you get 1 alternate. Hold on. Let me pull this up on the other page. Do I got my USATF? Nope. I closed all those tabs. Damn it. So I don't feel like looking through that now. We're about to end this one. But to my understanding, from what I looked at USATF, and I believe it was the Olympic rules, because I looked through multiple years. I looked at the world relays. World relays, you could bring 4 extra athletes, so it becomes 8. You could bring a whole bunch of people. Well, when it comes to the Olympics, not world championships, remember they are 2 different rules. They're not the same. Olympics is the Olympics. World Athletics owns the World Athletics Championships. Those are 2 different organizations. So, with that being said, the Olympic standards would be that you can bring 1 extra person. USATF selects that, so that's their own rule. Plus, you got 1 extra person you can pick, or it was 2 alternates, not 4. The 4x4 had also something that you could pick anybody from the 200, 400 hurdles, the 800, as well as they didn't go down to the 100 actually, if I'm not mistaken, but it might have included the 100. But you could pick from the 100 all the way up to the 800. Any athletes in between there that qualified or that did any round at the Olympic trials, and it's up to the discretion of that sporting body. And that's their standard for USATF. But the amount of people that you can bring as alternates is only 2. So it's not 4 that everybody's floating around. It is not 4 alternates. It's only 2, not 4. So that's how it is. With that being said, thank you guys for coming out. We've been out here at it for how long? Yeah, I don't know how long we've been on this one. But thank you guys for coming out on this stream. Like I said, we got channel memberships. So definitely click that join button. Click subscribe, the bell notification, share this with other people. And thank you guys for coming out. I am your host, Nick, and you've been listening to Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Hopefully, I can get Johan Blake or some other athletes on here. Maybe Kimber Nelson will now respond to my DM that I sent her back in 2021. She ignored my DM. I didn't like that. But maybe she'll respond back to it now, because I would like to ask her a couple of questions to get her thoughts on the whole situation that's there, how it is for her to do that. And hopefully I can get Johan Blake on here. I will attempt to reach out to him after the Olympics to kind of talk about how his career was. And maybe give him some encouragement going forward. All right, guys. We've been at this for, 2 hours? So I will